Hello, poor people. How are you today? Let's discuss habits, bad habits to be precise. So, how to change bad habits? The first thing you need to understand is nothing is good or bad except thinking makes it so. There are very few things on the planet that is objectively bad. What you interpret as bad is a consequence of your social programming and which environment has instilled upon you. Let's take child intimacy, for instance. As disgusting as this sounds, once upon a time, it was overlooked by society for the longest of time. So the only reason we frown upon it today is because we've been conditioned to do it. Now, I'm not in support of that kind of relationship. Of course, it's disgusting. There is no need to be diplomatic about it or try to use words to sugarcoat it. It is wrong. It shouldn't happen. So good or bad depends on the side of the fence which you're on. So let's take our government, for instance. A huge percentile of people disagree with the current government. But the people in charge, do you think they care about this government? Or do you think they are dissatisfied with the leadership? Exactly. So good or bad depends on the side of the fence you're on. Once you understand this, you would extrapolate this conversation into the subject of habits. That your habits, which you identify as bad, is not necessarily because it lays in its objectivity, but for the fact it doesn't move you towards your predefined goals. That's why it is bad. One other thing you notice is bad habits are easier to do. For instance, it is easy to lay on the couch and watch Netflix all day. It is easy to sit and do nothing. That's how the world works on. It is very easy to fall. Falling doesn't take any necessary action. You just leave yourself and you fall. That is how the world works. This world is cohabitated on wickedness, and that is how it's found. Any good thing you see today was done by force. It is wrong for you to sit as a professional and you see a well manicured garden and you suddenly believe it happened by chance. It is wrong. The person has to enforce his will on the earth, dig up those shit. He didn't try to understand the weed. He did exactly what he's supposed to do. So it's the same thing with you. Dig up that earth of enviness. Do not try and understand the laziness. Do exactly what you're supposed to do, and you'll be fine. Bad habits. Bad habits. One of the life hack associated with this subject. You don't change things by changing things. You change things by building a new model that makes the previous one obsolete. So instead of trying to remove typewriters by force, the best thing you can do is introduce computers. And typewriters would fold like a traveling circus leaving town. So that's the best thing you can do in that situation. Build a new habit that makes the previous one obsolete. So it's impossible to say, I'm trying to stop doing XYZ. I'm trying to stop smoking, for instance. You can't stop smoking. The universe doesn't appreciate vacuum. According to the laws of the universe, where a vacuum exists, it's only a matter of time before something fills it. The time used to spend smoking should be replaced with a positive habit. Reading, for instance, going to the gym, anything that doesn't involve your two fingers across your lips. That's how it works. You replace bad habits with good habits. It might be difficult at first. In fact, one of the things most individuals, especially as a young man, struggle with is all kinds of sexual perversion. It becomes very difficult to prevent the logging in of a website. But then you have to sit and analyze as a professional. As a professional, if you cannot stop yourself from jacking off Pornhub or logging on a website, how can you expect to be successful? If you're not disciplined enough to stop doing something, how can you expect success at any variation? Please understand, you're not disciplined enough to stop doing something. How do you expect to be successful? Small things leads to big things. The micro leads to the macro. How you do the small things is how you do the big things. The Bible famously puts it, he who is faithful in little is faithful in large. If you are not faithful in little, who will give you your own? Says the Bible. So if you can't be disciplined in one area and prevent yourself from doing XYZ, why should we commit something more to your hands? You remove bad habits by replacing those habits with positive things. Like I said, the old man is going to creep in. The previous desires to do that which you casted away would try and creep in, would try and affirm if you're still there. It is in that moment when you have to exercise your will. Your will. If there's anything I've understood over time, is that life is not relied upon causes or demons as we like to presume, but on choices and will. I set before you this day blessings and curses. I cannot force you. I can only advise you. Choose life. Even when Jesus comes to the door of our heart, he knocks. He doesn't barge in. I'm kings of kings and I'm creator. No, it's of your own volition to commit yourself or otherwise. So make a decision today. Define an outcome. What do you want to do? Most people play a lot with time. They think, I'll do it tomorrow. Time's always there for me. I'll study tomorrow. In fact, I remember in college days where I used to be complacent because of my brilliant mind. I would put off studying till the deadline is close. Putting off studying from the beginning of the month, and I wake up one day and the exam is tomorrow. Because of my brilliant mind, I'm able to scale, but that level of procrastination still exists. If you extrapolate that concept to life today, I'll plan for my life tomorrow. I'll write the business plan later. I'll do this some other time. Guess what? One day you wake up and you're 40 and you regret how you spent your life. You regret not exercising. You regret not starting that business. You regret not starting that channel. You regret every single decision you've made up until now. So if there's anything you've learned today, is take action. Define an outcome. What is it you want? And pursue it earnestly. And you'll be fine. As always, my friends, a pleasure speaking to you. I'll see you in the next one.